Hello. Hi. Hello. It is I, the immortal Blue Turtle, also known as Michael. I am an aspiring, soon to be full time game developer. Now, why am I doing this video? So, I'm doing this video in hopes of starting and being more consistent with a YouTube channel and also to fill a empty space in the game dev YouTube world. Now, a little bit of background on me. I've been doing game development since May of 2025. Now, it's August, end of August 2025. So you might be thinking to yourselves like, wait a second, this guy, this hasn't only been 4 months? Yes, I've only been doing game dev for 4 months, which for anybody in this space is basically nothing at all. Because a lot of people out there have been doing game dev for like 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, years and years and years and years. So I have zero released games. I have zero completed game projects. I just have one, two, three prototypes, two of which I'm not working on anymore. I'm on a third prototype. Yeah. So what is the space I'm trying to fill in the game dev YouTube? The space is for the truly inexperienced dev. What it's like to be a truly inexperienced dev when you really, really want to be a game dev. And you can find videos of people like, oh, what it's like a year into game dev or, beginner game dev journey or a bunch of stuff like that. But I watched a bunch of those videos and it's always people that are like, yeah, like I have no experience in game dev, but I have a computer science degree, or this guy made a game with no experience, but he was a programmer at a game dev studio. And then it's like, oh yeah, I have no game dev experience, but I've been doing 3D art my entire life, or like I was selling art online. What skill do I have? The only programming language I know is GD script that I learned for the past 4 months using Godot. That's the only program I have no programming experience. The only game I've ever made in my entire life was when I was 10 years old. I made a Pokemon game on PowerPoint using hyperlinks for a school project. That's the only game I've ever made. I can't draw. Uh, the only 3D modeling I've ever done was I was what, 12, and then for about a week or so I was using like Maya to make little like circles on the screen and like squares, and so my degree is in business. I did business administration. So yeah, no experience whatsoever. So what did I mean then when I said soon to be full-time game dev? Now that's it as a bit of a personal thing, but I guess that's the point of this channel, right? I want to do game dev, right? I did it for a bit. I was working on something else for work, and I'd reached a good like stopping point when I was working on that. And I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna take a bit of a break before jumping back into that. And I've always, like games. I like games. I've been gaming my entire life. Let me try making a game. Spent too long, a way too long time watching Unity versus Godot versus Unreal videos and all that stuff. I eventually settled on Godot, opened it up, loaded a Brackeys video, and went off to the races trying to make a game. My sister for an idea for my first game. There's a little cat thing where there's a cat that shows up, has a bunch of symptoms. I need to identify the symptoms by choosing tests, and then you choose a treatment. So just a little puzzle game. Identify the symptoms of the cat, choose a treatment based on the cat of that, and then if you get the right treatment, the cat is healed. If you don't, you got to send it to the ER, and then they'll take care of the cat. And basically, that's it, right? So that's the first prototype that I did. That was interesting. And then I was like, all right, now that I've made that, and it wasn't really a full game, I reached a point where I had to start making like art and like background and all that stuff. I was like, now I'm going to move on. And then when I moved on, obviously, as any new game developer has experienced, it's all right, let me make my dream game now. Yeah, we've all been there. So I started working on that, and that's the second prototype. Turns out making your dream game is really fucking hard, especially when you have like zero experience in programming, zero experience in art, no experience whatsoever in game development, nothing. All you know is, I know, like, I have a pretty good idea of what I consider to be good games by my own opinion, right? Obviously. And I just want to bring that out. Now, I have no idea how to do that. I'm learning how to do that. I wanted to do this. So I started working, I started working at the point where the game just wasn't fun, right? I implemented, uh, let me backtrack a bit. So the game idea was a basically like a port of Pathfinder 2, Pathfinder 2E into like video game format, right? Using pixel art and dice rolling and all that stuff. I reached the point where I was implementing combat and it just wasn't fun. It just wasn't fun. It's a lot more fun on a tabletop where you can like talk about like, oh, you did this and you did this cool move, but then when you get into the game and you have to like animate all this shit and then you have to, like the flow needs to feel good and all of that stuff. Nah, dude, it just wasn't fun. So I pivoted to just change the combat system to like a more like a card combat thing, but that will be for later. Not this video. This video is more about me and what I want to and why I'm doing all of this. So, anyways, yeah. So that's the niche I'm trying to fill in this YouTube space. It's for people that want to be a game dev, but have zero experience in anything and are intimidated by game development. And the YouTube videos that are out there don't help because always dudes that have like 10 years of like programming experience talking about like, oh yeah, I'm making like I'm a newbie game dev, and then I've been doing C# since I was 3. It's like you're not a newbie, right? You know how to program, you know how to make shit move on the screen. You already know like newbies don't like I when I opened up Godot for the first time, I had a little blank page with like move and slide and like the func ready and process function and creating variables and shit. Dude, I didn't know what the hell was happening. It was just text on a screen. I didn't know what I was doing. Still barely do, but Anyways, so yeah, that's the point of this channel. So now that I've laid that out, what am I going to be talking about here? Well, I guess I can talk about why game development specifically. I wish it was like a deeper, like, yeah, games have been my entire life and like, that's what I want to do with my life and stuff like that. And it's true, I do like games. I love games. And at this moment, I'm really, really passionate about game dev. I really, really, really like game dev. But the reason why I'm going into game dev is more like, so I'm 27 and I think I've probably going through some sort of like weird quarter life crisis. Now, I don't really subscribe too much to those ideas, but it certainly feels that way. So I've hit 27. I've been passionate about a bunch of stuff growing up, and I'm not doing any of those things. And so when I was analyzing, it's like, I used to play basketball a lot. Then I busted my shoulder. Now I no longer play basketball. I play table tennis quite a bit, and I was aspiring to try and make that my life. Busted my knees. I played League of Legends quite a lot in hopes of going pro, but my grades were slipping, and then I had to choose between either like continuing uni or playing League, and then I dropped League to continue with university, right? And there's been a few more things in between all that does paddle for a while, but that kind of fizzled out as like where I live, it's too expensive to play the sport for too long. There's a bunch of these things, but the common thread is that here I am. Now, the job that I do uses my business degree. It's I'm a manager, and I do like the job, right? I don't like let me just set that straight. The job is great, but it's not my plan A. It's not what I wanted to do my entire life, right? It's sort of like it's always been like a safe plan B. It's why I studied business actually. The idea behind my business degree was that the main limiter stopping people from doing the things that they want to do, like they're following their dreams and passions, tends to be like making a living from it. You know, you want to be an artist, great. You can spend all day drawing, but if you can't pay rent, if you can't feed yourself, you're not going to get very far as a full-time artist, right? So the idea was, okay, let me get a business degree, let me learn how to make money so that if I'm ever passionate about something, I can just use my business degree to make money from that, and I can use my passion to learn about it. Well, I graduated in 2021, so 4 years later, here we are. Now, why game dev specifically? Because there's people out there that might be thinking like, oh, like I'm going up and down with these passions, that this might just be another like, flash in the pan. Like, okay, I'm gonna be super into game dev for 4, 6 months, a year, and then it's gonna fizzle out, and it'll be the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing. And anybody who's achieved any level of anything and anything knows that commitment across time is really what makes success. Is you want to be a game dev, you're not going to be a really good game dev if you only spend 6 months on it and then drop it. Like, some games take 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years to make, right? If you want to get good at anything, you need to commit to it and do it over a prolonged period of time. That's how you get good. That's just how it works. So what's different this time? Well, this time what's different is I've just decided, you know what? I'm just going to commit to the thing that is the thing at the moment. So the thing that I want to do is game dev at the moment, and I'm just going to commit to it. Come hard, come rain, come whatever. This is what I'm going to do, right? And I know already for a fact there's going to be times it's going to be tough. There's going to be times it's going to be annoying. There'll be times where I just don't want to do this anymore, but I got to do it. Honestly, in the last 4 months, I have experienced those little dips, right? Where it's just like, oof, I don't want to do this. Like, I'm doing a card game, for example, right? And the card game that I'm doing I had to like select I had to design like themes for the cards and like do a bunch of writing that wasn't really programming. And it was a bit of a slog, and they don't even get me started on art. I can't. I know that I'm gonna reach a point where I'm gonna have to draw something. And I'm using pixel art, and the reason I'm using pixel art is because in my mind, that's like, okay, this is probably going to be the easiest, lowest effort art form that I could do. I am not an artist. And you might be saying like, oh, you could just hire somebody or partner with somebody. Well, one, that's expensive. Yeah, you got to pay people to do your art for you. Doing it myself is free. And two, one of the stipulations I have in this whole game dev thing is that it's got to be just me. I'm going to do the solo game dev thing, and yeah, I know, blah, blah, blah. Teams are better. You can make better games. You can make blah, blah, blah. I know all of that. Teams are better than individuals. But this is just a personal thing. So I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to try to make it work. And yeah. Now, at the beginning of all of this video, I did state that I'm a soon-to-be full-time game dev. Now, for the game devs out there, or the people that know what game dev is like, your wheels are already spinning like, wait a second. So you've been doing game dev for 4 months with absolutely zero prior skills transferring to this endeavor. And then soon, so when I say soon, I'm talking about the next 6 months or so, you're going to go full time. That means that you'll go full-time game dev with less than a year of experience. Yeah. The skepticism is warranted and valid. So, like, what are you like? It's a bit daunting even for me, right? I'm aware of how silly and crazy that sounds, but I'm going to do it anyways. And these videos are going to be me documenting that journey, so that hopefully somebody else can watch this and be like, "Hey, it's actually is possible because that crazy dude with zero experience and a business degree was able to do it, so I can too." Right? I have a feeling. So when it comes to art, there is a base level of technical skill that's required, right? Whether you're an artist that draws, you need to be able to know how do you hold your pencil, how do you move it in such a way that you get the lines that are in your head, you transfer them to paper. If you're a musician, you need to know, like, you need to understand, okay, this note does this note does that. When these notes are put together, it creates this type of melody, and then the harmonies work this way, and chords and blah. You need to know, you have to have the technical skill. You need to know how to play your damn instrument. Or if you're going to do it on a keyboard, a synthesizer with DAW, you need to learn how to. You just need to know how to do this stuff. And game dev is no different. The difference with game dev is that it tends to be, or solo game dev specifically, as an amalgamation of different disciplines. So you need to know how to make the music for your game. You need to know how to make the art for your game. You need to know how to code the game. You need to know how to put all these things together. You need to know how to project manage yourself. You need to know how to scope your game. You need to know game balance, blah, 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 all of these things. Yeah, I kind of forgot where I kind of lost my train of thought there for a second. Give me a second. Let me try to bring it. Yeah. So there's a base of technical skill, and usually that technical skill is what you develop over the years and years and years and years and years of doing it. However, I do think that a very large part of art, and in my opinion, the biggest part of art, is taste. Good art comes from a good artist, and a good art. So it comes from a good art. It's in your brain, right? The creative juices are flowing. You're like, oh my god, I need to get this thing from my head to whatever medium my art form is. And your technical skill sort of aids you, or how do you say it? Reduces the loss between your mind and your art, the art that you present to the world. And the more technically skilled you are, so the better you are at guitar, or the better you are at drawing, from a technical standpoint, the better your art is translated from mind to paper, or from mind to medium. Yeah, from mind to medium, we'll say that. Now, if you suck at drawing, you can have the greatest art idea in your mind, and you have this picture, and it's just beautiful, and it's meaningful, and it's deep, and whatnot. And you're drawing a bunch of squiggly lines on a piece of paper. You just don't have the technique, you don't have the skill for it, and it's just not translated. It's a lot of loss. I think game dev is the same way. With technical skill, it's necessary to be able to make the game that you have in your mind, to make it performant, to be able to make it in a reasonable time frame at a reasonable cost, and all of these things. But taste is what determines whether the art is good or not. If your taste isn't there, the game is going to suck, right? No matter how technically skilled you are, no matter how good you are at drawing, from a technical standpoint, if the idea, the art in your mind isn't good, you don't have taste, and it's just going to be bad, right? You know, that's just my opinion, right? And I do think, now maybe I have a heightened opinion of myself, but I do believe I have good taste when it comes to games. Now, I enjoy the things I enjoy, and I'm quite happy of the things I enjoy. I enjoy. So maybe it's really just flawed logic, but I do think the ideas that I have for the games that I want to make are games that other people would enjoy a lot. Or at least people that enjoy similar things to me would love these games. And that there is a wide enough audience of people that might enjoy the same things that I do, that I could sustain myself by making art for those people. And it makes it easier to make the art because at the end of the day, I'm making the art for me. And those people enjoying it just happens to be a consequence of them liking the same things that I do. You know? So yeah, that's the idea. I think I have good taste, and the technical skills can be learned. I can learn programming. I can learn the depths of it. I can learn shaders. I can learn art, at least the technical side of art. And hopefully that's enough to carry me through. Now, I'm not without my doubt, right? It's been stewing in my mind constantly. Like, you're making a mistake, you're making a mistake, don't do this. Look at all the things you're sacrificing. Look at what you're gonna like over and over. I'm not blind to how bad this could go for me, right? So just for clarity's sake, I'm going to be moving countries, living in a new city, so that I could focus on game development. I will have a base of savings that should give me about 2 years of runway. And in those 2 years, I'm gonna have to make something that, that's successful. And it could just not work. It could completely flop. It could fail. It could be garbage, and it could have consequences, right? But I am single with no kids. If I'm going to take a risk like this, if I'm going to jump off the deep end, I mean, the best time would have been 5 years ago, but the second best time is now, right? There's that quote of the best time to plant a tree was who knows how many years ago. The second best time is now. So I might as well, right? There's a guy on YouTube that I like a lot, Alex Ramosi. Business guy. Awesome. I really recommend a bunch of people go watch him. He's really, really great. And he has a quote, there's a quote of his that I really like. He's like, take the risk because your 85-year-old self won't regret having more epic stories to tell. And taking risks makes for epic stories. Like anybody that's really into stories, yeah, like imagine the protagonist just took the safe route every time, didn't take risks, didn't make weird decisions, didn't take leaps of faith, and stuff like that. Would that be an interesting book to read? No, not really. It wouldn't. And I do subscribe to the idea that you should view your life like a book that you're writing as you live it, or a movie that's playing out, or a show, or stuff like that, and make your story epic, make it cool, make it interesting in whatever manner you deem it to be, right? The interesting part, the great part about this is that the goodness of a book is entirely subjective. It's based off of you, like what you like to read. And so if like my story that I write, the book I'm writing is the book for me that I'm going to read in my old age, as I relive my experiences in my mind. It's not for somebody else. It's not the book somebody else is going to read. So I'm making it interesting for me. I'm doing the decisions that I think I would enjoy reading about. And you can do that for yourself. So if, for example, taking a risk such as I'm taking now is going to leave you like a pile of anxiety, stress out of your mind, and you're just gonna hate existence because of the sheer uncertainty of everything, then don't do it, right? I'm making the decision for me because it's what I think will lead to a more epic story for myself. And so, yeah, that's where I stand. So this is video number one of what will hopefully be a more weekly series every Sunday, where I'm going to just talk about game development, or at least not game development itself, but the journey of becoming a game dev and launching a game. Because I think that's already missed is technical stuff. Can't really talk about it because a bunch of more technical people out there. And even like what game dev is like, I can't really talk about it because I haven't been doing it for that long. But what I can talk about is what it's like to want to do this and to go ahead and do it despite not having any base. And I know there's people out there that really want to do game dev, are very worried, or at least they'd like some assurances of what does it look like. You know, what if I were to quit my job and start doing game dev full time? What would it take? What does it look like? What would my life feel like? What are the stresses I'm going to go through? What are the highs? What are the lows? All that stuff. And I'm going to try and provide that. I'm going to try and let you guys know what's great, what sucks, and all that stuff. And I guess I'll give the first thing now in this video of a few of the greats and a few of the sucks. I'll start with the bad because I want to end on a high note. What sucks about all of this at the moment is really the uncertainty and the doubt, right? I have so you know, they talk about like a railroad life where you have like the tracks and you can just follow the tracks and there's the destination, you know where it is. In my case, I'm very lucky, very privileged existence in that the tracks are laid for me and the destination where it leads are actually really nice. It's a nice pair of tracks. The destination is pretty good. And not pretty good from an objective standpoint. It is pretty good from an objective standpoint, but even subjectively, even from my own sensibilities, I'm not running away from what my life could be. Because like, why would I? The life that I could have if I were to just ignore all of this game dev stuff is actually pretty good by my own standards. So nowadays, so what happens is you get this thought of like, then why the hell are you doing this? Why are you taking this risk? You have no idea what the fuck you're doing, so why are you doing this? Yeah, it's a big question. I don't have an answer. I mean, the answer is because I want to. But that's a very shallow answer. You know, it doesn't really alleviate stress. Not stress. It doesn't alleviate the doubt. It's not enough of an answer to alleviate doubt. But I decided to commit, and so I will, and I'll see this through no matter how hard it gets. I just have to deal with the doubt, and so the doubt's not great. I would very much rather just be fully confident and just go in just so like I'm gonna do this confident and just like plow through. But no, nope. The confidence comes and goes, and generally the confidence is like I don't even know. It's very sparing. It's rare. The confidence is very much at the beginning, the first month of game dev, and you get like something working, you click the button and it does it, and like you did your first game loop and it works, and it was actually kind of fun, and you're just like, oh my god, I can do this. I can do this. This is look at this. Like all a big game is just this times like 100. But if I multiply it, I can do it. And then like 3 months later, and you're dealing with a bug in your UI, the button you click is just fucking shit up. You don't even know where it is in your code. And it's just like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Or like late at night, or because I'm still working. Because you go to your job and you get a paycheck, and then you look at the paycheck and you think to yourself like, yeah, these paychecks are going to be coming in like this, and like, what am I going to do? Or you put all your money in savings, and so you're living like I'm living kind of broke now because all my money is going to savings and in hope and to prepare for the game dev journey, and you have like a bunch of money sitting in your bank account. It's like, dude, if you just drop this dream, you could use this money to like, you know, fix up your house, or I have this. There's a bunch of stuff you can do, and so the doubt isn't great. But like I said, I committed to it, and I'm gonna stick through it. Now, what's good about it? The good thing in a similar vein to the doubt is what is it's freedom. This feeling of freedom. It feels good. Like when because nowadays I'm very much spending most of my day working on game dev. The freedom feels good. The, I don't I don't have to report to anybody. I don't have to make my decisions go through anybody else. Like if I want to change the color here or add this functionality, it's all me. It's all in my mind. It's all what I want to do. And so to constantly live in that state of like I'm just doing the thing that I want to be doing, that feels good. It does. It feels great. It feels. Well, I don't know about good or great. It's because you do get used to the feeling, and then eventually you don't think about it. But like it's nice. Not having the worry of like, oh my God, I have to do this thing for this other person that demanded me of it, that demanded it of me. I like that. I like that a lot, and I look forward to the time where the next like where a year of my life is entirely up to me. I look forward to that. I look forward to like today there's only this, and then tomorrow, all just what I want to do, and then the next day is what I want to do, and the next day is what I want to do. I don't need to wake up early because I don't have to go to the office, and I don't have to talk to this customer, and I don't have to do this order, and I don't have to. Yes, I can't wait for that. I think that's gonna be really nice. And because of the little taste of it that I've gotten, is good. Like for example, I learned Dvorak because I wanted like more efficient typing, and like I have a little some strain on my right pinky because of the L and the S over here. So you're constantly like, doing this, and it hurts. It hurts, and so I've been switching my layout to something more focused on using these three fingers instead of using my pinkies. But what's nice is that I can do that. Like I made the choice that okay, I'm gonna do this, and I can do it. I can spend the time learning this new layout, and there's nobody to tell me to get back on track. It's just me. Now, there's going to be discipline. There's going to be having to like lock in sometimes because you have to like you have to work on your game. If you don't work on your game, the game isn't going to make itself, right? But it's nice that I can take okay. Now I'm going to take this week to learn my new keyboard layout. I take the week and I learn my keyboard layout. That's it, you know. And I'm a bit particular in the sense that I don't I don't mind being upset with myself for things that I've done. I don't mind that. It's not a pleasant experience because I'm upset, but it doesn't create resentment and bitterness. Because I feel like when I'm upset with others for things they've imposed on me, or when, let's say, somebody tells me to do something and then I don't do it, and now they're upset because I didn't do it, that feeling is different. It creates like a bitterness, like I'm resentful, like why are you asking me of this? Why am I doing this? Why are you like taking my time? My time is my own. Isn't it supposed to be me? Like I'm not free and I feel like trapped. I dislike that. It makes me upset with people. I start disliking those people. I stop talking to them. I become unreachable. I stop answering the phone. I get bad sleep. Dude, how many times have where I stay up to like 4 or 5 a.m. and the reason I stay up is because I don't want tomorrow to arrive. Because if tomorrow arrives, then I have to like do this thing that somebody asked me to do, and I don't want to do it. Can't wait for the day when that's not true anymore. Where tomorrow is a day that's up to me, and the foreseeable future is up to me. And then the only thing that I need to worry about is my own discipline and sticking to my own schedule. And because it's my own schedule, if I break it, it's my schedule. I decided it. I don't want to do it anymore. It's my schedule, right? Can't wait for that. So, yeah, one of the good things about this whole game dev thing is the freedom. And that's actually one of the reasons, the main reason, I don't want a team. I wanted to just be me with freelancers. I'll hire people, not hire. Yeah, I guess hire is the word. I'll pay somebody to do like an asset for me. And I won't hire them as part of like my studio to be like, okay, you're the artist for the game. No, no. Because if the artist needs something from me, that creates the whole bitterness cycle thing that I just talked about. You know, and I can't do that. Like if there are days where I like wake up and that morning I just decide like you know what, I just don't feel like I just really don't feel like doing stuff today, and so I just don't. That fact, people depending on me and they need something from me, that just I can't. I've experienced it, and no, that's a whole full different thing. So yeah. Anyways, I think that's a good stopping point for this video. So as a little recap, here I am with video number 1 of my journey in solo game development. I think next week I'm probably just gonna present my game and talk about it. Be like, hey, this is my game. This is what I'm trying to do. Yeah, do that for next week. For this video, I'm gonna leave it here as the why and the how of all of this. And hopefully it works out. If it doesn't, well, I'll be documenting it every step of the way, so y'all will be able to see why it didn't work out and why everybody else that says that you need to have all these years of experience and you need to do this and wait for this long before starting, maybe they're right. My bet is that they're wrong. My bet is that if you are committed enough, you work hard enough, that you can do it regardless of your experience. That's the bet I'm making. That's the dice I'm rolling. Hopefully, I roll a nat 20. And if I become a millionaire, I'll be pretty sick. No, that's not going to happen. We don't delude ourselves. I'm not making Stardew Valley, right? Highly, highly doubt that my game will reach even a modicum of the success Stardew Valley had. But dreams are dreams. I can't exactly help what weird dreams flowing through my mind, right? Honestly, my goal with this game is just to buy myself 2 more years. I want to release this game, make enough money from the game that I have 2 more years of runway to work on something else. And I think that so by the time I start by the time I start full-time game dev, I'll be 1 year into game development, and I have 2 years of runway, which means 3 years of game development. If I can buy myself 2 more years of game dev, I have 3 years of experience that will make the game that I make in that second, those other 2 years, that much better. And then that game, that's the game that's going to buy me 10 years of runway, whatever and however many years, the life that I want or whatnot. Making the life that it is about making the life that I want, but it's not really about money. It's more that I just want to be. I want to be free. I think game that's a good engine for that, and I love video games, and I think people will like the games that I make. Anyways, this is the actual stop. I see the timer is 38 minutes, and I think that's enough. Yeah, I had an idea this would take much longer, but I didn't really prep anything to say. Anyways, I think I'll keep this format of me standing, walking in a chair. Bye bye. See y'all next week.